Okay, well, I guess we can start now. Who should open this episode?
Hello.
I don't want to open it. I don't want to open this stupid episode.
Welcome.
Oh gosh. Oh, we're recording.
Welcome to FANFIC Flip Mini Episode 6.
That's right. It's the 6th episode, probably, unless I'm wrong.
It's the 6th episode, that's for sure.
Well, that's not for sure. We don't know for sure.
It's pretty for sure.
The last time we recorded one of these was like 7 months ago for Batman, I think. So, and we said last time that we would make that review and then the Batman would not come out for like several more months. The Batman is out now, and we will not tell you what we thought of it at all.
Did you see it?
No, I didn't even see it, so...
No, neither did I.
Okay, well, there you go. We had that entire episode.
I just feel done with movies these days.
We only watch The Great Rupert these days. I don't even know if...
That was a good one.
Yeah, but what is this episode about anyways, Cheese?
It's about Pikmin.
That's right. Everyone's favorite franchise, Pikmin. We have a lot to say, a lot of hot takes, I guess... And we're going to tell them all to you, our listeners. All 7 of you.
I should probably replay those sometime soon.
How many, which games have you played? Have you played every single one at this point?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, aside...
There's only 3 of them.
Well, did you play the DS one, though?
Oh, no.
Okay.
I played like a demo.
Okay.
I hated it.
I was like, no way did you play that.
No, it's pretty bad.
Yeah.
I played a demo, like I said.
Okay, so you're kind of familiar, but... I don't even know much about it.
It's called Hey Pikmin.
Hey Pikmin, that's the one, yeah.
It's like a side-scroller.
Okay.
That does not work.
No, Pikmin is probably the last franchise that could work as a side-scroller, really. I mean, what would be worse? Would anything else be worse as a side-scroller? Not really. Pikmin,
I don't think so.
Pikmin kind of has to work in 3 dimensions.
Yep.
So maybe a top-down Pikmin would work.
It's like a weird side-scrolling puzzle game.
Yeah, I don't really know what they were thinking with that. I mean, I'm sure it was made by a different team. But...
I've looked at just like gameplay. I think the first boss is just like a regular Bulborb.
Oh, okay. You know it's lame when that's the case.
I've fought like so many of those in the previous games just as regular enemies. Why is one a boss fight?
Yeah, because I guess they were making that for like kids to get them into Pikmin, and don't know if that worked out so great. But they've made everything great now, Cheese. Everything's fine and dandy because now we have Pikmin Bloom, which I know that you've played a ton of. I know I have.
No. Maybe I could get on it and see if anybody's in my neighborhood with it.
I'd be very no, nobody will be. No, we'll talk about that later, I guess. But, no, this is episode 6. We're supposed to read fanfics here, so I guess we should at least open up with what this fanfic is, and throughout we'll sprinkle in our thoughts on Pikmin as a franchise and all that good, fun stuff. So, Cheese, what's the title of this fanfic that we're reading today?
Love and Loyalty.
Are you kidding me? I can read some informations for you. This is by Shooting Star 25. Cool name. It has 16 faves, 2 follows, and it was published back...
6 reviews.
Oh, 6 reviews. Wow, that's impressive. And that's more reviews than this episode will get, I can tell you that much.
I know Uta.
And this was made December 10th of 2010. So, there you go. It's a little old by this point.
Didn't Pikmin 3 come out in 2012?
It's been a while, yeah, so it probably was right around the corner when this was written. I think it's been 7 or 8 years since the last Pikmin
And
game.
I only finally played Pikmin 3 like in 2020, right?
Yeah, about. It took you a while, so it's a thing. Waiting on Pikmin games it's a whole thing. We'll discuss that and much, much more. Don't you worry. So this story, it says, is inspired by the song I Know Uta. Geez, I think you know this song
we know
well.
all about that.
Yeah. Sometimes during the middle of filming a random video, I think you'll just start singing this song as a...
I don't think so.
I think so, as your sanity has deteriorated. So. Yeah, well, you're not in the right state of mind. You're not even yourself when you start singing that.
Well, I don't think so.
I could probably bring up a clip if this were a fanfic talk, but since it's a
Maybe
mini, I
in
can't.
the episode we discovered it.
Maybe. I feel like you've done it multiple times where you start singing
I
I
don't
know.
remember how it goes.
Isn't it the one that goes like I know to te
I don't know.
You know, you've sung it a
I
million
don't remember.
times.
I know the song, but I haven't listened to it since the episode.
Well, somewhere in the deep recesses of your mind, you know this
No.
song perfectly well. Yes,
You're wrong.
you practically
wrong.
wrote this song.
You're wrong.
It says it's amazing.
You're wrong.
I'm trying to get on with this. It's amazing. It's amazing what music can do, right? The story may seem a bit rushed, but I did what I could. As usual, feedback is greatly appreciated. What's the rush? Are people really waiting on this to come out in a reasonable time frame? I don't know. Love and loyalty. Here we go. Are you ready? Are you ready for this? Here we go. Okay. Every day we don't always come back to you. Every day we fight. We fight until we are all eaten. We would watch our brothers and sisters be sacrificed to a bulborb or some other creature on this planet. I am no exception. Is this being made from the perspective of a Pikmin?
Is this a revenge story?
Maybe? Oh, that'd be a really cool concept for one. I found lots of weird Pikmin fanfics when looking for this one. Lots of weird ones. This was the most weirdest I could find that wasn't like 30,000 words, of course. What did you say your name was again? Olimar, right? What, is this a Pikmin talking? Like talking to Olimar?
Yep.
Hey, what'd you say your name was again? Olimar, right? Well, like every other Pikmin, I always fight to the bitter end. Not just for you, but also for all the friends and family that I've lost. I don't know, that's not even an accent. Please, please let me fight. I don't care if I'm just a leaf. I've seen others like me risk themselves when going into battle. So what if I get eaten? We may be afraid of becoming food, but we'd love to help. But you don't have to love us. We're not asking you to. I don't think Olimar feels anything towards the Pikmin in particular. There's tools to him, really, aren't they?
He doesn't care.
No. Just leads them into, like, the jaws of a bulborb. Thousands dying. As long as he can escape the planet, it's all fine. It's a lot of, I think, what stands out about Pikmin for me, aside from the designs, is just the sounds, too. They're like ingrained in my brain. It's one of those things. All the little Pikmin noises, the
That's only in Pikmin 2.
Is that right? I guess, yeah.
They don't sing that in Pikmin 3.
I guess I asked you earlier if you'd played all the Pikmin games, and I think played them all, kind of. I played the original Pikmin at a friend's house a very long time ago, and I was like, wow, this is a really weird game, but I kind of like it. I was intrigued by its weirdness. It's like on a post-apocalyptic planet with these like plant animals.
I can't believe it's not more popular.
For the longest time when I was little, I always thought that Pikmin was on the same caliber as Nintendo's other franchises. I thought it was as big as...
Me too.
Yeah, I thought it was as big as Kirby. Not as big as Mario, obviously, but, you know, probably as big as Zelda, big as Metroid or something. And it was only when I got older that I was like, oh, this series hardly really sells at all. And the only reason that it's really continuing is because Miyamoto loves it so much and kind of guns for it to keep going.
I don't understand why it's not more popular. It's so cool.
I don't know, maybe people are put off by, like, I feel like people would see the footage and they'd see all these little creatures running around and, like, numbers appearing above objects, and they think, oh gosh, this looks like some super complicated math game. That's what I would have to assume.
Dummy dumbs.
Like, what does this mean? 5 over 10?
Number. Big brain hurt.
Yeah, so maybe that's it. Maybe it's not. I don't really know. Or they just think that's going to be so complicated. Like, do they think that you're controlling every Pikmin? I don't know.
I don't know. I never really put together in Pikmin 1, you're just Olimar. Pikmin 2, it's you and Louie. And then 3, there's 3 captains.
Yep.
In 4, there's going to be 4 captains.
Oh, you think so? Oh.
Yeah.
It just starts.
But then we got Hey Pikmin instead.
I'm just gonna have the longest gap in the conversation there. Just nobody says anything. Wish I could include cricket noises. And then after Pikmin 3, we got Pikmin Bloom.
Well, anyway.
Yeah, so, it's a Pikmin. It should be more popular so we don't get more Hey Pikmins and more Pikmin Blooms, okay? Okay? Do you get it? You understand?
Yeah.
We'd follow you all over the world if we had to. I'll try to keep up like I always do. Right now, it's a brand new day, and I'm ready for adventure. I rush over to your feet.
Adventure!
With a hopeful gaze. I wonder what kind of Pikmin this is. I'm picturing a yellow Pikmin for some reason. Will today be my day? Please let it be. Why would you want it to be your day? We're gonna be like chucked into the maw of some terrible, awful beast of nature.
Please let it be my day.
To be devoured by a burrowing snagret. I rush over to your feet with a... Will today be my day? Please let it be. You looked down at me and smiled. But that was it. All you did was pat my head and call out the red and blue Pikmin. Hey, maybe it is a yellow Pikmin. And he called out the other types. Ooh, was I right? I don't know. I watch you walk onward to the wilderness of the forest. I quickly run over to you, squeaking to get your attention.
Oh, man.
Oh. I can't do a squeak on the spot. I mean, sorry, you say, but I won't be needing you today. Then you walk away. Oh, good rhymes there. Is this set
Is it
to
my turn?
the I Ono Uta song? No, it's just inspired.
Both my stem and large ears droop in
It is a yellow
disappointment.
Pikmin. Wow, I didn't know that. That was a total guess.
Why not? Why won't you let me go with you, Olimar?
Notice me,
Is it
Olimar?
because I'm a leaf? Am I useless? I don't want to be useless.
Wow. This is
I walk back to the landing site. Is there anything I can do to please you? Anything at all?
desperate.
Oh, maybe I can get some nectar for the others. There are some blades of grass right by me. I pluck and pluck until a glob of nectar greets me.
Okay. Is that what's about to happen?
It looks so tasty. Oh, this is for the other Pikmin, not me. I can wait.
Oh. It's a good Pikmin that knows to share with the others and be a team player.
Olimar, why won't you let me fight? I want to do my part to help. There's gotta be something I can do. I know. I can try a piece for your... What was it that you called it again? Oh, whatever, it doesn't matter. Oh,
Okay. I guess we can stop for a moment. So far in this story, we're really getting into the mind of the Pikmin. They're apparently completely sentient and able to form rational, coherent thoughts. That's kind
If
of
they were
dark.
able to do that, then they never would have followed Olimar in the first place.
They would revolt very quickly, I think, when Olimar started like throwing them into fences made of like electricity or something. Pikmin as a whole is a pretty dark franchise.
Yeah, it's great.
That's another one of the things that I like about it is like Pikmin, they die. They don't like faint. They don't like fade away or something. Or like the Nintendo thing to do, I think, would be for them to like poof into a puff of smoke. That's like the most Nintendo thing. It's like when you step on a Goomba in Mario Odyssey. You just get like a smoke and a little sound effect, and that's it. You don't see their spirit drifting away sadly as they make like a little death sound. Pikmin does that.
No, they're dead.
You've showed me many times, I might add, or at least mentioned some of the terrible, awful deaths that can occur in Pikmin games.
Well, you've played them. I did.
Yeah, I have played them all. I didn't quite finish that thought I had earlier, but yeah, I played Pikmin 1 at a friend's place. I think maybe I owned it myself later on. I know I have Pikmin 2. I played through that, and then, of course, I got Pikmin 3 and had some fun with that. And I also have been playing Pikmin Bloom quite a bit lately because I recently moved to a new place and been walking around a lot, been using Pikmin Bloom, and I'm the last player on the face of the earth, the only one left playing this underdeveloped game. I guess we can talk about that later, but I don't know, what's your favorite Pikmin death, Cheese? That's what I want to know. What is the most gruesome? So many to choose
There's
from.
two that come to mind.
Okay.
Well, no, both these enemies are in 3, but there's one like specifically in 2. I don't know what they're called. They're like these bugs, and they burrow up out of the ground, and they're these big things. They have like a white face and red eyes, and it shoots out this needle.
Ah, yeah, the needle nose things. I don't know what they're called either, but...
And then, if it gets a Pikmin with it, you can see a gush of blood.
You have to look very closely. You must really be observing these Pikmin.
And then it just sucks it up like a straw.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I didn't know it sucked them up. I just remember it stabbing them
Pretty
through
much.
the heart. Wow, okay.
Well, I mean, the way it looks, they just kind of shrink.
Right. Okay, yeah, I guess that is what's happening.
What it's doing is sucking it in through the needle.
That is amazing.
And then there's the lobster guys.
Oh, the ones, they're like crawdads, or really. They pinch the Pikmin and drag them back into, like, their hole in the sea or something, right? That one?
Yeah, well, I mean, it doesn't drag them into the hole, it eats them before it goes back in.
Oh, okay.
You get to watch it.
You get to watch it in all its glory.
I do think, actually, another one would be, you know the bread bugs?
Oh, yeah.
You can end up in like a... kind of like a... What
What are you trying to say, G? What are you trying to... An Arby's? You end up at an Arby's? What are you trying to...
Well, if you have Pikmin, they end up in like a contest to see who you can pull it back to your ship, or if it can pull it back to its nest. And if they lose, they just end up in its nest, and you don't see what happens, but you just see their ghosts float up.
That's perfect. That's all you need.
It's awful.
Yep. Sometimes not showing a thing can make it all the more gruesome.
I don't remember if you can hear their screams or not.
You probably can.
But,
I mean,
you do see their ghosts.
it really is. It's very unique in that sense. I can't think of really any other cutesy Nintendo games that like take such dark turns. Oh, well, Kirby. Kirby, yeah. Kirby's the obvious choice, I guess.
Kirby's crazy.
But no, yeah, Kirby gets crazy at the end. But Pikmin, though, you're exposed to its weird gruesomeness pretty much from the get-go. You can have all your Pikmin die in a Pikmin extinction first day if you're not clever enough. So it's an interesting franchise for that, and for that reason, both me and Cheese have been talking about Pikmin a lot lately and thinking about it. And
yeah.
again, we'll talk a bit more about that later, but it is a shame that it hasn't had a few more entries out there. And we're hoping for the best for whatever comes next. Maybe this video will inspire Nintendo to keep working. They'll watch this one video and they'll say, hey, somebody cares about this franchise.
Pikmin 4.
Maybe we should just make it ourselves.
Yeah, at this point, I probably could have made Pikmin 4. Just, like, open up Unity or something and, like, model, like, just some carrots running around. That's you know.
I think Pikmin 1 and 2 are both pretty fairly challenging still.
Yeah, I mean, it's been forever since I played Pikmin 1 and 2, especially 1. But, yeah, both of them have their moments of difficulty. Pikmin 3, I'd never really had that much trouble with. Of course, now it has a hard mode on the Switch. I played it on the Wii U.
I mean, the last boss is pretty difficult.
Yeah, it's just a shame that they couldn't have upped things. Because you probably played it on hard mode, didn't you, when you got it for the Switch? I imagine you didn't play on easy.
Not yet.
Oh, really? Okay. So maybe hard mode does make things a bit harder. I've heard mixed things, but I'm hoping that the next game keeps that, and it also keeps the gruesomeness.
Oh, yeah.
If they tone that down... And again, we'll talk about that later. There's so many ways they could mess up the next one, but that would be a big reason why I would not like it.
Pikmin 3 sure did keep the gruesomeness.
Alright, I'll keep reading a little bit.
We're demented.
We kind of are. We're making ourselves sound pretty demented right now. I'm careful enough to sneak past the sleeping bulborbs. I make a left turn and scurried up the small slope. I suddenly begin to hear a low rumbling sound and was soon met with 3 burrowing snagrets.
Oh, that's bad. That's bad news.
Yeah, a single Pikmin against multiple burrowing snagrets? I don't know. Which you had decided to call them. Okay. The sight of them caused me to jump a few feet. Can Pikmin jump on their own? I don't think we ever see that, really. I assume they can jump probably not that high, but they're like thrown.
Well, this is a story, not the game.
It's just not. We don't know if their anatomy works this way, so I don't know.
Well, they probably can't jump very high.
Yeah, so he said he jumped a few feet to a Pikmin. That would be ridiculous.
God, you're right.
They're like fleas. Okay. I felt my entire being shake in fear. No! Now is not the time to be afraid. I can remember you trying to fight these creatures. You said there was something belonging to you here. I had seen many of my kind get eaten, and I almost met the same fate as them. Hey, how did you see them get eaten if Olimar never chooses you and you're trying to get Olimar's attention? You're like a new leaf, so you wouldn't have seen these things. I'm a little dubious. This isn't a very reliable narrator. You chose to leave the area so we can get more Pikmin. You said we would get the right thing you needed. Does Olimar talk to the Pikmin? But we never did go back.
I think so.
Oh, really? I like Olimar's voice, just like
I have no use for you.
oh yeah, but in the games it just sounds so dumb. It's like a banjo voice, really. It's like. But we never did go back, did we? I'm certain I can put up a fight as well as any red Pikmin. I straightened my leaf and charged at the Snagrets! Oh, good. That's not gonna work. You have to jump into their eyes and stuff. One Pikmin's not gonna be able to fight these things. This is a death sentence. I attacked.
He's gonna die.
I think the story will end with this yellow Pikmin being promoted to a blossom Pikmin. And, be a happy ending. Or it'll just end with it being digested by a burrowing Snagret, so that could be fun. I attacked with everything I had, which isn't much, I must admit. I dodged 2 of the Snagrets as they attempted to make a snack out of me and headed straight to the one on the ledge. Alright, so he's fighting 3 Snagrets. I had to be extremely careful here. One wrong step and I could fall into the water below me. Oh, I guess there's water now? I didn't know, whatever. I saw the Snagret burrow underground. I followed to where it would pop up and waited. I felt the ground shake beneath my feet, and when the creature reappeared, I latched myself onto its head, whacking my leaf against it. I love that. That really is just what they do, is basically headbang the enemies to death. It started to shake me off.
How does that hurt?
Well, I mean, in the games,
Let's not question it.
they have, like, no nervous system, the Pikmin, so this probably wouldn't be a problem. But if they were as smart as this Pikmin were, then yeah, their brains would probably just be, like, banging around the inside of their heads. They would just fall over. I could tell it didn't like...
I just got this image of, like, one Pikmin just running up and hitting its head on an enemy. and he does feel it, just like instead of like the game where they don't have any nervous systems, he just goes, ow! And falls off. And it's just like, oh god!
You just like hear it
rolling around on the ground.
Basically like falls on the ground, you just hear like a squishy sound because its insides have just been like squished to bits. Maybe this will be a mechanic in Pikmin 4. It's a new way for Pikmin to die if they hit something for too long. They smack their heads against brick walls. So, like, I don't know. They leave a bruise at least. Okay, perhaps...
Just like, that's why most Pikmin's lifespans aren't very long, because they're constantly giving themselves concussions.
Yeah, I mean, even if they don't meet an end unnaturally by being eaten, I imagine a Pikmin probably passes away at, like, after 2 weeks or something. Just naturally. It just cannot sustain itself. They're not built very well, these Pikmin. Using your head as your main weapon, it's not good. Anyways, I could tell it didn't like it. Perhaps I found its weak spot. The Snagret burrowed underground again as I hopped off. This thing is tough. I just hope that I can do this.
No, you can't.
I don't know why he's doing this to prove himself to Olimar, but Olimar isn't here? Anyways, by the time it popped up again, I was ready for more. I gave it my all as I whacked it again with my leaf. It shook its head, causing me to fall off and land right by the edge. I looked down and saw the water. I was lucky I hadn't fallen.
Water!
If I were a flower instead of a leaf, I probably would have had an easier time with this. Maybe I should have picked up one of those bomb rocks Olimar mentioned. He probably could have drank the nectar, because one Pikmin can drink the nectar and it doesn't all go away. I don't think so. I don't think one...
Olimar wouldn't let him. It says... Leaves aren't allowed to drink the nectar unless they're chosen.
I guess not.
No.
Not you.
Olimar can just choose who gets to live and die and who gets to evolve or stay the same. He really is probably...
Never you.
He's like basically a god to them. And, like,
Yeah.
they're like attracted to like the light on his helmet, I think, and the whistle that he makes, and they're just like entranced by him. This deity from the
I
stars.
love the idea of him getting really angry.
No. Never.
Never you. Alright.
Not you.
He's like Picard. Oh man.
Don't mention
And the
Picard
next
to me.
Pikmin, he's
Don't
gonna
bring up
be-
Picard
he's
to
gonna-
me.
He's gonna be old like Picard.
Oh, that'd be
And
interesting.
he's gonna say, "You're only as strong as those around you."
Well, if he was really like old Picard, then he would be all sentimental and like soft-hearted, and he'd be like, "You are more dear to me
Oh,
than you could ever know, yellow Pikmin."
I don't know. I pulled up as soon as I was somewhere I could actually hear the trailer. When I pulled up that Picard season 3 teaser trailer, the first thing that happened already had me laughing. I don't know. You're only as strong as those around.
Can't even get through saying the line.
You're only.
The thing that got me, I don't want to take too much time with Picard, but the thing that I laughed at was when, like, Raffi, the character from the previous season, was like, "You have no idea how terrible the world can be," or something. What did she say? It's like some edgy goth line that sounds like it was written by, like, a high schooler.
No.
I compared it to, like, something I would read in, like, a high school peer review paper.
As long as you and your crew remain steadfast, you are never without hope.
I'm picturing Picard in the Olimar suit just spitting all over the inside of his helmet. Spittle is just everywhere.
I heard the beast squawk behind me.
That wasn't a very good squawk. I don't know. That sounded more like a gulp on my end. I think they were like a...
Oh, okay.
That's more
We'll
of a
keep that
squawk.
noise then.
Okay, yeah.
Its head swiftly came down towards me. I managed to dodge it just barely. I got to a safe distance away from it and watched it go back underground. How long was this going to take anyway? Cautiously, I made my way back to the fray. The snagret had resurfaced and nearly chomped my leaf off. And we've never seen that happen, have
No,
we?
yeah, I was about to mention. I don't know what a Pikmin...
Would that just mean death?
It depends on how much. I imagine they could probably lose the leaf, but if they lost, like, a lot of their stem, that probably would be death.
Imagine, like, Pikmin isn't even rated M,
No.
and it's as dark as it is, but imagine if it was M.
Yeah, they could do crazy... Like, a Pikmin would be, like, split open or something.
I would audition to be a voice for a Pikmin.
I would not even want to be paid. I'd say, hey, I'll do it for free.
The snagret had resurfaced and nearly chomped my leaf off. I jumped as high as I could onto the creature and crawled to its head. I whacked my leaf as vigorously as I could muster. Just then, the snagret let out a long squawk in agony.
Uh-oh, do I have to do a long squawk of agony? Yeah, that's fine. I'll go with what you did.
It collapsed on the ground, coughing up a bizarre object in its wake.
I wasn't reading along, and I thought you were going to say it was coughing up blood for a second. For some reason, it just gets really graphic all of a sudden.
I thought you were laughing about how I proceeded to cough in just a regular human cough.
That'd be good, too.
I do like that they just cough thing, like a boss enemy or mini boss will just cough something up.
Yeah. Again, the easy thing to do would just be to have the enemy poof away and the item is just sitting there. But no, they puke that item up. Pikmin is hardcore.
I did it. I actually beat a creature that was practically 10 times my size all alone. Who was that? Our commander Pikmin character?
Oh, in the previous fanfic talk we had...
Drom.
Yeah, it was something like that. And he was a yellow Pikmin, I don't remember.
This is his origin story.
Yeah, why not? Yeah, he was a yellow Pikmin. So, yeah, in our previous Pikmin fanfic, we really are recycling topics, aren't we? I couldn't help it. We've been talking about Pikmin. We like Pikmin, okay?
Yeah.
I always picture somebody listening to these videos, which is already pretty crazy. But then I also assume that the person listening is going to be like, Pikmin again? Oh, you guys already did this? What? I don't know why.
I like that voice.
So I have to explain to this non-existent fan.
We should just make the next 5 episodes about Pikmin. No,
Yeah.
we should do an episode. Every episode is gonna be Pikmin until Pikmin 4 comes out.
Oh my gosh, just make videos for the next 3 years at that point about
Yeah.
Pikmin.
I leapt into the air, letting out squeaks in celebration. Once I was done, I inspected this strange object. It was round with a gray trim, and it made a noise that was already getting annoying. This must be one of those pieces Olimar needed, right? I couldn't wait to get this to him. He'll be so proud of what I did. I'm sure of that. I grabbed the mysterious object and pulled. It didn't even budge. I tried again. Nothing. This thing is really heavy. I sat down beside it, my head resting in my paws. Now what?
Is that how you would define their hands, as paws? I don't know.
I guess.
I don't know, they're like twigs or
I
something.
like to think of them as little nubs.
Yeah, they're basically useless. Pikmin don't really need arms. They even carry stuff with their stems, so they really have no use for arms. I don't know why they evolved to have them. Not very realistic.
They sound even dumber than Banjo-Kazooie voices.
Is that even possible?
I
You might be right.
They seriously just talk like.
The obvious voice to give Olimar would be like a little like squeak, because he's so small. It would be like oh, but no, it's like a really
That's what
deep.
Alf gets.
Yeah, I guess so.
Glancing up for an idea, I saw the darkening sky above me. I hadn't realized that I had been fighting all day. All day, wow.
It's just a couple paragraphs for us.
The sun was beginning to set already. Oh, no!
Pikmin can't burp. You disgusting slob. What are you doing?
How much time do I have left? No time to think about that now. I had to hurry. I pulled the object with all my might, but it stayed in its spot. Suddenly, my large ears picked up the sound of a squeal.
Oh?
I know for a fact that it wasn't the other Snagrets. They squawk, and besides, they were underground. I whirled around and came face to face with a dwarf Bulborb.
Oh my gosh! Dwarf Bulborbs, is that like just a small Bulborb?
If you can take down a Snagrat single-handedly, this is nothing.
Yeah, it's... Maybe you should have done this in reverse, writer of this story. Not very clever of you.
Oh, now he's scared?
Yeah, oh no, not a small Bulborb. I just ran past like 3 Snagrets and fought one on a ledge next to a bunch of water and it burrowed underground.
My whole body quivered in fear.
I mean, I guess we've been kind of dodging the point this entire time, but Pikmin, it's been a while since we've had an entry, and we're really waiting for something besides a mobile game with microtransactions out the wazoo built into it. It has been.
It prints money.
Yeah, I doubt it. They probably said that to begin with, and now it's back to Pokemon Go making all their money, or Fire Emblem Hero Ages, whatever their other mobile games are. But Pikmin 4, nah. Wait 7 years.
Oh, what a shame. We were going to measure whether the fans wanted a Pikmin 4 based off of how well Pikmin bloomed.
Oh, I hope not. That's like my worst nightmare. Surely not. I mean, there have been rumors of Pikmin 4 being worked on going way back. You don't really hear it anymore, but like, I don't know. I don't know what happened to this franchise or why it is like this. How come Kirby gets like 5 games in 1 year? Meanwhile, Pikmin is over here getting like a game every 7 years. What did I tell you? I think it was like 7 years in between Pikmin 2 and Pikmin 3, or no, between Pikmin 3.
Yeah.
No, yeah, okay. And now it's been another 7 years or 6 years between Pikmin 3 and today, and we still don't have any word of Pikmin 4.
And Metroid releases are pretty sparse too.
Oh, Metroid's been
But
getting
more
luckier
frequent
lately.
than Pikmin.
Oh, yeah. I mean, What
Well-
franchise has it worse? F-Zero?
I mean, I don't really care that much about F-Zero.
Yeah, I don't care much either, although I know what they feel. I mean, they feel even worse than we do about the fact that their favorite franchise just kind of is forgotten. Although it's even worse for them. It's way worse. They don't even get a mobile game. So, yeah.
No mobile game for you.
They're very strange about what series get their continuous sequels and which other ones they really, like, put a lot of time and effort and passion into.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's
Metroid
just...
might just be, like, doing better in the modern age.
Yeah, which makes sense. I mean...
Yep.
All Nintendo's games are kind of made to be timeless. There are very few that I could even begin to think of that wouldn't work during any time. But, you know, some just... The type of game Metroid is, Metroidvanias are doing well, and so people are more responsive to it now maybe than they were before. Versus Pikmin, I don't know, what is Pikmin? Real-time strategy, I guess? It's not like the most approachable medium, and maybe that's another reason why it isn't picked up all that often. It's
Strategy.
there aren't a lot of other ones out there that are constantly being released. Like, they're the really popular ones.
I'm so sick of shooters running away with the money.
Yeah, bring back the platformer. Yeah, I mean, forget Pikmin. Who cares about Pikmin?
Well,
I
we
just
still
want another
get
Mario
plenty of
Odyssey.
platforming these days.
It's coming back a little bit,
It's
but
just like-
Nintendo's still on top.
If you just only watch like a Jeff Keighley produced like game show, you would think that they're dead.
Yeah,
Because I don't know if he's aware. No, he must be.
he has to be.
Everything that is in a Jeff Keighley game show is some survival multiplayer shooter zombie or alien horror game.
Yeah, with
It's all the
realistic
same.
graphics. No, like, it's not stylized, really. Maybe very slightly
Yeah.
stylized.
And only like a few of them look interesting, maybe.
Yeah.
Because it might look like a Doom type thing, and that's kind of fun.
Mhm.
But then the rest, you add multiplayer in the mix, and I'm just like, yawn.
Cheese isn't big on multiplayer, and I'm not...
It's just my introverted nature.
And I'm not really big on, like, hyper-realistic graphics or anything. I mean, I like things to be stylized and colorful and stuff, which is why I like Pikmin. You can't get much more stylized and colorful than Pikmin.
Yeah, I mean, Pikmin 3 looks stunning.
Yeah, it really does. I mean, I guess, and there are hyper-realistic graphics in there with the strawberries and the grass, but of course then that's contrasted by these little plant creatures. It's so charming in its own little way. This zoomed in on this little world, and I don't know what it is about it.
Especially whenever you know the inspiration is because like Miyamoto really liked gardening, and I guess he was just gardening, and he was imagining just these little plant people running around his feet. And that was the inspiration.
I know, he was on like some terrible, awful drug.
For the most part, yes.
And he failed to mention that he was on drugs at the time. But, who knows?
Mario. He was on shrooms when he came up with Mario.
It's such an obvious joke. But I give Miyamoto a hard time sometimes for the Paper Mario situation. There are horror stories about him not liking deep stories. Who knows if it's really true? I hear it back and forth. Some people say he doesn't like it. Others say he does sometimes. I don't know, but he makes good games, or he makes good ideas.
And that's okay. Listen, I think it's necessary for Paper Mario to have like this deeper storytelling and depth to it.
Yeah, because otherwise it's just like basically a Mario game, a regular platforming Mario game. Yeah.
We know.
I mean, I like Mario Odyssey, of course, and other Mario games are perfectly fine, but Paper Mario is supposed to be something different. We're talking about Paper Mario now. How did this happen? We can't let this happen.
I don't know.
It always comes back.
I know what inspired him for Zelda was he would go like adventuring in like his backyard or just around. I don't know. When he was a kid. And he'd just go walking around and he would just find a cave and be like, "Ooh, I want to do that in a game."
Sure.
And that was Zelda.
There you go. Hey,
Go exploring.
Like I said, he's a great idea guy. I don't know if he's a great story guy, but
No.
Who
He's
knows?
definitely not, that's for sure.
At least Pikmin isn't usually like big on story, really. There is a very loose story, so I don't have to worry about the next one being like torn to shreds story-wise, because, you know, there's not much there anyways.
I wouldn't even like necessarily outright disagree with him, because not everything needs a story, but I very strongly disagree when Paper Mario's involved.
Yeah. Pikmin is a franchise where you don't need much. Somebody's stranded on a planet. We don't need to know what happened to the planet, how it became this way. We don't need to know where Pikmin came from or if they can jump several feet. We don't need a fanfic describing a Pikmin's journey fighting a miniature Bulborb. We don't need
That's
it.
another interesting thing about Pikmin is that the Pikmin's homeworld is Earth.
Yep. Another reason I like it so much.
I don't know if it's like post-apocalyptic.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely is, because you can see, like, Pikmin 2, the treasures you collect are basically the remains of human civilization.
There's other signs here and there, too, that it is post-apocalyptic, but we don't need the story. It's just fun to think about.
It's pretty cool.
All right, I guess we need to continue with this garbage. Yeah, we're talking about it. Pikmin doesn't need a story, and let's go back to reading a Pikmin story now. Oh,
Well, it's just like one of those things that's really dark and interesting the more you think about it.
My whole body quivered in fear.
My whole body.
No, I don't want to be a snack. Not now. My instincts were telling me to run, but my legs felt
Just do
as
the
though they
same
were
thing you did
frozen.
before.
You ran past several Snagrets with no problem. Somebody help
My
me!
legs are frozen.
I think the reason he's scared is because it's getting dark and he knows there must be like a lot, behind this dwarf
I guess
Bulborb.
so.
Mom might be nearby.
Where there's one Bulborb, there are usually several Bulborbs. It's a good rule of thumb. Just then, another squeak reached my ears. Was it another Bulborb? No, it couldn't be. The sound was higher in pitch. It sounded so familiar. Wait! Olimar! You made it just in time!
Olimar?
You saw me and motioned for me to come over. I didn't hesitate, for my prayers have been answered. I dashed over to you as quickly as I could, evading...
Wait a minute. Pikmin aren't religious.
We don't know that.
No, they're not.
Well, they deify Olimar. We talked about that earlier.
Well,
So
that's
that-
it.
So that is
He
religious
prays
to an extent.
His Lord Olimar. He's not a merciful god.
No, he is not. I didn't hesitate, for my prayers have been answered. I dashed over to you as quickly as I could, evading the Bulborb and Snagrets. I looked up to you, then saw the look on your face. My stem suddenly drooped. Are you angry? Oh, does Olimar have an angry face? I don't know if we've seen what that looks like. Snarling with his big teeth. Please don't be angry. I had a good reason to leave camp in the first place. All I want to do is help, even if it did mean costing my life. I don't want my sacrifice to be for nothing. I want to be meaningful. Sounds kind of like a cult, like somebody sacrificing their life to satisfy their god. I'm not even going to get into it. I pointed to the object lying away from us. You looked at it, then at me. You smiled, big toothy grin. You're really smiling. Are you?
We've never seen him do that either.
Not that I'm aware.
He kind of usually just has like this open mouth breather face.
Oh, yeah.
Like all the time.
It is very goofy. Are you proud of me, Olimar? You pat my head, causing me to blush at the gesture. I don't know if Pikmin can blush. They don't have blood. Not real blood.
Oh yeah, they do.
Well, they have like liquid, like carrot
Pikmin 2
juice.
begs to differ.
All right. I was about to...
Oh, do you think they taste like carrots?
Probably. They're at least
If
similar.
so, I might eat them.
They are plants, so they taste like planty.
Oh, so no wonder they eat them.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Even I would eat them.
I would eat a Pikmin, yeah. Just don't eat a white one.
No.
Get food poisoning. I don't know, which one would probably
Might
taste
kill
the
you.
best? I would probably like the red Pikmin. I feel like they would have like a really
Yeah, spicy.
sweet... no, I was thinking sweet, kind of like a cherry.
Like
or
a
something.
sweet spiciness.
Yeah, maybe. Ooh, yeah, now I'm hungry for a Pikmin. Can we get like a Pikmin-themed
No.
restaurant?
No.
Yeah, well, that's why Louis eats all these things. Louis eats everything but Pikmin. Oh, at least that we know of. I was about to go back to the part when you whistled at me to stop. Why? I thought you needed this. Why did you have me stop? Sounds so pathetic. We don't have enough time to get it back.
Wait, it's my turn.
Okay, I was getting so into the story. What happened to the ball board? Did they kill it?
It was just imagining Mario mixing with the world of Pikmin and just jumping around, flattening them.
What?
Yahoo! Yahoo!
Yeah, you would just smash entire armies at that point.
Luigi!
Pikmin's one of those series that can't really have a crossover.
Then I remembered in Super Smash Bros. Brawl, there's literally a cutscene where Captain Falcon races in and just shreds. Like,
That's the best way to put it.
a group of them.
Yeah, and it's played for laughs. It's like a joke. All of them are standing there like, wall. You know what? For that, he does not deserve a game. No more F-Zero for you.
Yeah.
Killed all those innocent Pikmin.
My stem. I thought that said stem lips.
I did too. I was about to say the exact same thing. Like they have a set of lips on this.
That's where their mouth is.
I mean, how do they eat?
Oh,
The blue
God.
Pikmins have a mouth, obviously, but how do the other ones
What
eat?
if their stem is like a straw?
Oh, you know what?
Well, no, you can see mouths on their face.
Only on blue Pikmin.
You can see mouths
No,
on
only
their
blue
face.
Pikmin have mouths.
Nuh-uh.
No, yes, none of the other ones have mouths. You nuts? I don't think so. I'm pretty sure only blue. I don't know. They probably use photosynthesis anyway, so they don't even need mouths.
My stem.
No, my stem.
My stem limps in front of my face, the leaf obscuring my vision. You lifted the stem, making look up.
Okay.
Making look up at those friendly eyes of yours.
Squinty
Never-
little Tic Tacs.
Never thought his eyes were friendly.
Not
Just
really. I don't
kinda
know what
empty.
they are.
But that doesn't mean I'm not proud of you. You're a real trooper.
Aww.
I squealed and jumped.
You really are proud of me, Alama. I'm glad.
Now, come on. We need to hurry. I scurried as quickly as I could. What if if this was like one of my stories, I'd have him die here in like the
Yeah.
last paragraph.
Yeah, I can picture it.
Well, not only like that one, probably the entire group.
Yeah, I could picture you like leaving them on the planet below, and you detail the horrors that happen at night that we don't get to see.
Shredded to pieces.
At night, that's when Captain Falcon shows up on the planet and just starts squashing them all. That's why we don't see what's happening down there. It's Captain Falcon.
Like, his punching sound effect is like...
Yes!
I scurried as quickly as I could to keep up with you, so I didn't get to bring the part back. That can be done some other time. I don't really care anymore now.
Neither do I.
At least I knew what I was truly capable of. I was proud of myself. Olimar, no matter what happens, I'll always follow you. Just like all the other Pikmin.
Cult.
I'll follow and fight until the last breath I take.
It's a cult. I'm telling you, it's a cult.
For all of my fellow Pikmin and you, I promise.
Wow. I think every story I end with saying wow.
It's not the worst one.
No, it's not. Let's read the reviews really quick. We'll be kind of fast about it. We're having too much fun this episode. I think we need to get a little more somber.
It's because it's about Pikmin.
Lich says, that was a nice one shot. That Pikmin is a re-trooper. Go Yellows, XD.
Whiz me. Cute is an understatement. This one shot was amazing. 5 out of 5. And adding to favorites. Well done.
Wow. Cloaked Hayden says, aw, this is so adorable. I give it a 10 out of 10. Whoa, he's changing the entire ranking system for being an excellent one-shot. And I'm also favoriting it. What? It's very similar to the previous comment. Are these just sock puppet accounts? What's going on here? Yeah, this is not the worst thing we've ever read, by far. You know, a lot of our stories have to do with the internal thoughts of a character as they're think about committing suicide. I guess that kind of happened here. This Pikmin was thinking that it was gonna die in battle. Glorious combat. But, it's, I'll cut it some slack. I do have a confession to make, and this may shock you. This is the biggest confession in fanfic talk history.
You don't like Pikmin?
The truth is, Cheese, Pikmin Bloom is my favorite Pikmin game.
Oh,
No, I'm
but
kidding.
No.
I'm kidding.
No.
No, I have been playing it a lot lately, but no. The truth is that years ago, in my early, no, I think it was like my late middle school days, I would get very bored in between practices during track. I didn't really have anything to do. And I was into Pikmin for a little bit during that period, and I was like, you know, I bet there are some really good stories online about Pikmin. And so for like a week, Cheese, I would read Pikmin fanfics.
Why would you do
It's
that?
true. It's true. I'll admit it.
Why?
Those are the first fanfics I think I've ever read are Pikmin fanfics.
Why?
This is the truth finally comes out. I was bored. I don't know.
Genuinely, why?
You sound so concerned. Oh, why? Why? Oh, you see someone about this. This was years ago. I was like 11 years old. Give me a break.
I'm serious. Why?
I was curious. I was like, I wonder what the Pikmin did after Olimar left the planet. I wanted to hear about their adventures, okay?
I thought you were gonna say that you were imagining them, I don't know, running around on the ground having adventures.
While I was during track, I just pictured Pikmin running alongside me. No,
I
I
could
was
do
not
that.
delusional. I was just
I mean,
pathetic.
that's not delusional, it's just imagination.
There's a fine line in there somewhere.
Well, if you're bored, anything can happen.
I guess. As Miyamoto himself has proven. If you're bored and you find the right inspiration, anything can be a good time. Unless it's Paper Mario Origami King.
That it's understandable if you've been playing it recently.
Yeah, maybe I had been playing it recently. I don't know what the context was, but
I remember when I played that PlayStation Spider-Man game for like when I first got it. I kept on just like when I was driving around, I would just like look out for buildings for like points that I could swing from, and I just wanted to like swing away.
And then you proceeded to read some Spider-Man fanfics, right?
No.
Okay, well,
No.
it's just me. Well, maybe after reading this delightful little Pikmin story, we'll be inspired to go out and be creative ourselves.
I am inspired to go replay them sometime.
Yeah, and I'm inspired to stop recording and probably go to sleep.
Wait, what?
Good night.